Hey guys, so here bringing you another video, and welcome to something a little bit different. So this is obviously not about video games really, it's about Game of Thrones. And what I decided to do, I mentioned it on stream today, and I thought, hell, I'm going to record it and give my reasonings, and it gives me a chance to talk about the series, because I've never really spoken about it, and I love Game of Thrones. But basically, this is a league that you guys can join, and join me, and you can make your prediction, who lives, who dies in the final series of Game of Thrones. Obviously, fair warning, this video is going to contain spoilers for everything that we know. So if you've not watched, or if you haven't caught up, do not watch this video if you want to be spoiled. Also, avoid the comment section, because I imagine people are going to be talking about it there. But the idea is you guys can join my league, which is called Huzzy Games, I think. But I'll link it down below. Be able to join, and you make your own predictions. I'm making mine now in this video, and basically the person who gets the most correct will be able to choose of one of two prizes. Firstly, you'll be, if you're on EU West or North America and you like one of the upcoming league partner bundles, I will owe you one. So you can wait, you know, if you like the Rengar one and this happens, well, actually it won't. It'll be in 6 weeks' time, technically. So whatever league bundle, when it finishes, if you like that one, you can get that one. Or you can kind of go, you know, I don't really like the league bundle, the partner one that's out at the moment. I'll just wait, and then I'll let you know if I want that one. Basically, I'll owe you a bundle. You don't have to cash it in straight away. Secondly, and again, that's only for EU West or North American people, because those are the only servers I get. If you're not North American or you don't care about the League Partner Bundle, also you will be able to choose you will be able to get $20 worth of Riot Points. So that's the two prizes, but you can pick in between each of them. So yeah, we're going to do mine today, and I'm going to talk about it finally. So let's begin, baby. So again, spoiler warning. What I'm actually going to do, because what this website has seemed to do is they've put the really important characters at the top. Let's go at the bottom, because these are going to be less important characters apart from the final one. So we're going to ignore the final one, and we're going to start here, because again, a little bit less important than the others. So Meera Reed. So I believe she, and again, we'll have to remind ourselves who these people are a bit. I believe she is the one that have been dragging Bran around in the north. The thing is, because obviously it's live or die, there's not an unknown option, because I don't think we'll see her again, because I think the last time we saw her was in the Winterfell, and she said bye to Bran, I'm going to go home, and he was like, bye, and she kind of freaked going, is that all you're saying after everything we've been through? I believe that's that person, and really, I don't think we're going to see anything from her again. I doubt it. So, to me, this is definitely like an unknown. I'm going to put Liv, because I think the way that the show is going to work, unless they literally make it obvious that everybody's dead, if a character isn't shown that they've died, I don't think you can say they've died. So I do not think we're going to see her, therefore I'll keep her with Liv. Gendry Baratheon, actually a very important character at the moment. Obviously, he was in the early seasons, went away. Again, he is Robert Baratheon's bastard son. Technically, again, I don't know how it works with, you know, an heir being not of like pure blood and stuff, but technically, without the Lannisters taking over the throne, he could actually have a claim to the Iron Throne, because he was a Baratheon. Obviously the Lannister kids were supposed to be Baratheons. Again, it was his name was Joffrey Baratheon. It wasn't Joffrey Lannister. Obviously, we know that it was a incest child, but the public supposed to, you know, not known. And the same with Tommen, etc. They were all technically Baratheons. So he actually could have a claim to the throne. So he's actually quite an important character. And again, who is going to win the Iron Throne at the end is the big question. He very well could be, but I think he's going to die. The reason why I think he's going to die is because he has been kind of, if there's another character who's in this list that he should be, yeah, he is there. So we'll do both at the same time. Davos Seaworth has basically become a father figure to this guy. Davos lost his son earlier in the years. I can't remember exactly how it was a battle or something, but he lost his son, and he's kind of adopted Gendry, kind of. They've got like a bit of a father-son relationship. I think it's going to go one of two ways. I think one of those two, they're going to be in the same area, and one of them is going to die. I think they're going to kill Gendry, because that will be a bigger surprise, and I think they're actually going to let Davos live, because I think that would be kind of... He's kind of like a tortured soul in a way. Like, he lost his son, he had his fingers chopped off by the guy that he supported, and then he, you know, cared for the little girl of the same guy that he, Stannis, the guy that he supported, and then he burnt her alive. He's had a rough deal, and I think that's just the character. I think it's a character that is basically just always got bad things happening for people that he cares about. That's the pattern. And because it's, you know, George R. R. Martin, Game of Thrones, I don't think they're going to give him a happy ending. So I do think that the person, again, he cares for at the moment is definitely Gendry, and he's going to goodbye. That's my guess. Beric Dondarrion, he has to die. 100%. So again, Beric Dondarrion is one of the Soldiers of the Light that has been brought back, you know, over, was it 6 times? So he obviously dies quite a lot, but the difference being his person that, you know, the preacher or whatever, he's dead. So he can't get brought back. And his whole thing is, you know, I am the Soldier of the Light. I'm going to be taking down, except, you know, Whites and the Night King. He is not the guy that's going to kill the Night King, but I think he's going to definitely probably fight the Night King directly. I could see that happening, and he'll just get killed. Like, the battle, when they ever fight him, I think he'll just straight away just go, bah, he's dead, with his all flaming sword. And probably, like, again, if we had to get into it, what my guess will be, he'll die, his sword will get stuck in the snow, and as he's dying, his sword will slowly, like, not be on fire anymore. It would be a kind of like a nice touch. Tormund. I'd love if Tormund would live. He's in a pretty... right now we actually don't know if he's dead already, because he was on the wall when the Night King got through. He was literally running away as the dragon was attacking. So he is the closest mainish character to the Night King right now. So we could, like, episode 1, if they started with the Night King's armies marching, it could very well be like Tormund's now a White. He got resurrected as a White. Very easily. I'd like if he is. I like the character a lot. Again, the whole thing, I don't think he's going to die at the beginning of the series. I see him dying later, and I actually see him dying to do with something with Breanna Toth. He loves Brienne, and obviously Brienne, I think, loves Jaime. There's kind of like that weird triangle going on. I think he could sacrifice himself for her while the battle's going on. So I'm going to put die, because I think it kind of just makes sense. Because ultimately, I think Brienne is going to end up with Jaime. Even if either of them don't live, I think that there is going to be something more to their story, because it's been hinted at for years. Melisandre, 100% dead. The reason why is because she's already told us. When she was at Dragon's Reach, she was talking to, I think, Davos, going, oh no, you know, you've been excommunicated by Jon Snow, you know, when he comes back you can't be here. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to return to Bravos, but I have to come back. And I think Davos is like, but you'll get killed. I have to die on Westeros. Like, she says those words. She is definitely going to die. Bronn. I have a weird theory about Bronn, man. I have a weird theory that Bronn actually could end up on the Iron Throne. The reason why is... his whole goal, and whenever you've heard the character speak, every single thing is about, I want that castle. He's always talking about it. You know, as long as you give me that castle in the end, I'm happy. If I see that I'm not getting one, I'm going away. And he's kept around and kept around. I'm going to say live, because again, and my theory, he could easily be that character, because a lot of people, oh, who's going to backstab who? Bronn is key right now to backstab people. It's in his character. It makes sense for the character. He's a cutthroat. He's always been about that castle. What happens if he now has set his sights on the throne? The throne's in a weak position. He's now still in King's Landing with Cersei. If somehow the mountain gets taken out, him versus Cersei, easily kill. He sits on the Iron Throne. I think he's going to live, because I just don't think they're going to kill the character in a way. Like, he's a really liked character. Like, they could, but I doubt it. The Hound. To me, the Hound has to die. It would kind of finish his arc. You know, he went through, at the early seasons, he was just that thug that was like the king's right-hand bully, guard, etc. I see, again, I don't know if they've got the character. They should. The Mountain, is he here? Apparently the Mountain is not in this list. But to me, Clegane Bowl has to happen. Him versus the Mountain. And I think what would kind of... Someone just subbed on Twitch. Sorry about that. I'm not streaming right now, but someone just subbed. What would make sense for me is if they both take each other out. You know, it's Clegane Bowl. I'm actually checking if I'm live right now, which it says I'm not, but I'm just checking. We're fine. I'm hosting something else. We're good. Back on there. So Anyway, as I was saying before that happened, I think they'll take each other out. You know, the Hound may kill the Mountain first, and it's like, yes, I finally killed him, the guy. But I think he'll sustain so much injuries that I think he's also going to die. Which, again, he's a cool character, but yeah. Jorah Mormont, to me, he has to die. The reason why his arc, again, is... well, one of two things is going to happen. One, he dies protecting Daenerys in some way, or he actually ends up with Daenerys. To me, it's one of those two things. He is, like, arguably in love with her for the right reasons the most. He has been with her the most. He has been arguably through the most with her. And you know she cares about him because when he got that rock disease, she literally said, go get it cured. Like, you have to get it cured. There are no other options. Go do it. Then you can serve me. He did it. He came back. Boom. So to me, it will make sense for his character to sacrifice himself for Daenerys in whatever situation. Or in the end, if Jon dies, if Tyrion dies, he's a royal, he's a Mormont, so it is a good family. He could very well be something important. Like, if everyone dies apart from Daenerys and him, it's like, okay, you go be my Warden of the North now, because his family, I think, is from the North, just on Bear Island. You know, I think he's going to die, though. Melisandre, again, this is another character that, like, will she die? The only way that she dies is if the White Walkers win completely, I think, because she's not in battles. You know, she's never in the scary battle. You know, Daenerys gets in battles with her dragons. Melisandre has never been there. Like, she's always wherever, you know, Varys and Tyrion may be, safe. So the only way that I think she will die is if the Whites completely win, and I don't think the White Walkers are going to completely win. So I'll say live because she just doesn't really get in battles. The person that I do think will die is Grey Worm because, again, they've got this relationship going that, you know, it's a good relationship. It makes sense. You know, she was a slave. He was technically a slave. So it's kind of like cool that they're coming together. But, like, he is in the middle of battles. He's the general of the army. When the Battle of Winterfell happens, which I think is episode 3, from what we've been told, I could see him dying, because that would be a major... Like, even if they fend off the White Walkers, even if they beat the White Walkers, there have to be some important characters dying, and the General of the Unsullied is an important character. You know, what would happen to the Unsullied army? Are they fighting for Daenerys, or are they fighting for Grey Worm? That could be something. The Unsullied could just leave after Grey Worm dies, and obviously that then will also affect Melisandre. So I do see him dying. Qyburn, so the guy that brought back the Mountain, die. I think he has to. Like, I actually could see him doing something a little bit dodgy. He's having a meeting with Cersei, and Cersei just turns to the Mountain and you can kill him. Like, the Mountain just picks him up and chokes him. One of two things. Like, that could happen, or the opposite could happen. Because right now, we don't really know who the Mountain actually's master is. Everyone thinks that the Mountain completely serves Cersei. But the person that brought the Mountain back is Qyburn. I still see him dying, but Cersei's end could easily be Qyburn telling the Mountain to kill Cersei. Easily. Like, that could happen. Because the Mountain really should be, you know, serving Qyburn the most. Then Cersei. So, that would be an interesting thing. Davos, we mentioned earlier, I think he's going to live because I think they're going to kill Gendry and kind of make Davos yet again see somebody he cares for die. Breanna Toth. This is a tough one for me because Brienne's character is confusing in a certain way. Is because her whole series has practically been protect that person, then protect a different person, then protect a different person. It's just been protecting people. And usually what happens to people that are going to protect people, they usually die, you know, especially when a White Walker army's coming. If Winterfell's happening, Winterfell's going to get taken over, Brienne, with her, like, nobility and her, you know, moral compass will be, I am not leaving you. And if Sansa goes, I am a Stark of the North, I am not leaving Winterfell, then Brienne is not leaving Winterfell. Which also could mean Sansa dies too, if the White Walkers win that battle. So, I actually kind of, in a weird way, do see her dying. But then in this, again, it's a hard pick, man, because I see her dying, but I also don't see her dying. Because she's a great fighter. Again, if we want to talk a little bit, you know, not in a bad way, but if you want to talk a bit of 2019, arguably Brienne is the best fighting female the series has got. Well, not arguably, she is the best fighting female the series has got. The biggest one, the best one, she beat the Hound. So, would they kill that? Maybe, but maybe not at the beginning of the series. It's a tough deal. Like, it really could be that type of thing that she, you know, what's his name, Toborn or whatever, Tormund cares for her, he dies. She cares for Jaime. Jaime dies and leaves her alone. Like, it could be that type of thing. And, you know, at the end of the series, she is at the side of the person who wins, and, you know, she has sworn her sword. She's protecting that person now. To be honest, I'm going to go Liv, because, again, I think she's a strong character. Again, a little bit because it's the female thing, and that's fine. But I think Liv. Gilly. So Gilly is Sam's partner. I don't think Gilly is important enough that they would give her a specific death scene, unless it's with Sam, unless they die together. You know, there was that scene a few series ago, was in the North, I think, that Sam hid in a food closet or a storage closet. Could be a similar situation that Sam and Gilly hide in a storage closet with the White Walker attack at Winterfell. The White Walkers win, or, you know, the army retreats. Sam's left in Winterfell with Gilly. Possibly. Because really, I think these two are arguably tied together. If one of them dies, I think both of them dies. I hope, like, there is this big theory, and some people, again, we are getting into potential spoiler theory if we are correct. There is a massive theory that people are saying the story of Ice and Fire, or Game of Thrones, the series, is a retelling from someone's perspective. Everybody is saying that the story is being told by Samwell Tarly, in the future. So again, he does become a maester, and what do maesters do? Record history. So at the end of the series, people are kind of expecting that corny thing, the end, scroll out, and it's Sam looking older as a maester and closes the book that's called The Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones. That's a massive theory that people are saying is arguably, you know, could be true. It doesn't mess with other theories that are out there because it's just a retelling of what happened. So yeah, arguably that could be. And again, that's a theory that is both in the show and the books. And a lot of people saying is because Tyrion is a bit more of a major character in the books. He's still a major character in the TV show. It wouldn't be surprising if Sam is talking to Tyrion in the future of the retelling, because it just kind of makes sense in that way. But I'm going to go live with both of them. Because I think Sam is arguably too much of a important knowledge character for him to die. He doesn't get involved in battles, so really the only way he dies is if it's just a defeat. Overall defeat, they lose. Otherwise, I think they'll be fine. Euron Greyjoy, to me, die. Again, he's the classic. Again, it could not, but he's the classic bad guy. And classic bad guys, on average, die. So I'm going to put die. Yara and Theon, one of them has to die. Part of my thinking is Yara is obviously supposed to be now the ruler of the Iron Isles? Sure. I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think Yara's going to die, but not in the most obvious way. It could be like Theon, we know, is going to try and save Yara. They could kill Euron, but Yara dies as well, and that leaves Theon to then be the ruler. Like, he is growing his character from being, a pompous guy in the early seasons to getting captured by the Boltons, to be broken down in basically to an animal, then made into a wimp because of what he went through, which is fair enough. But he's slowly rebuilding his character. He had that fight with that other guy that said, we're not going to go rescue. He beat him, killed him. So you can slowly start to see he is becoming Ironborn. He's becoming the leader. And I think that's the way it's going to end. I think he will actually be the ruler of the Iron Isles by the end. And I think he'll be basically the only Greyjoy left. And obviously that will be, in theory, the end of the Greyjoys, because he can't have babies, as we probably all know. Jaime. Jaime's a hard one for me to kind of decide, because Jaime could very well easily die. Like, very easily die. Or, again, we mentioned one of my random theories is, Bronn takes the Iron Throne. Jaime could take the Iron Throne easily. He's the Kingslayer. People do respect him somewhat. He used to be the best fighter before he lost his hand. Very respectable person. Obviously, he's done terrible things and has a weird relationship with his sister. But very could be, like, he was a general of the army. So he's a character that is poised to do something important in this upcoming season. But obviously, we just saw that he's riding up to Winterfell. In the trailers, we know he's involved in the Battle of Winterfell. But I think he's going to live. Again, we do also know of a character later on, Cersei Lannister. There is a prophecy that the witch told her in one of the early seasons that she was a kid and she has a witch. You had 3 children, they all die. Also, you're going to get killed by your brother. That was in the philosophy. It didn't say which brother. Everybody's expecting Tyrion to be that brother because Tyrion, Tyrion technically killed their mum, kinda. That's why they hate him. Tyrion killed their father, so it was like, oh, Tyrion's going to kill Cersei. It's probably going to be Jaime that's going to kill Cersei, really, because again, if we go by that prophecy, a brother has to kill her, and that brother very well could be Jaime. It would be the bit. It's not really a twist because people are kind of now expecting it because obviously there's the betrayal that happened. But I think it would mean more if Jaime did it. The only obviously problem with the philosophy is Cersei's pregnant, apparently. And obviously the prophecy was only 3 of your children would die, so there's now a 4th. So we don't really know what's going on there, unless obviously she dies before the baby's born. But I doubt that. I reckon there will be another Lannister baby floating around. But we're going to go live with Jaime. Varys, die. Even if they win, I think in the end, Varys is the type of guy that I don't think people would want around. Because whatever happens, this is going to be basically a new world. You know, the White Walkers are dead. The crown and the country's been absolutely destroyed. We need to start new. We need to build from the ground up. And Varys is that type of guy that knows too much bad stuff about everybody. So I reckon, like, it could be that type of situation that, like, they're getting beat. Someone's looking over, like Jon or someone knows Varys isn't a good guy to have around, really. And he's like, yo, I could protect you, or I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the way, let Varys die. I think he's just that type of character that, like, people probably, they respect him because of what he's done with his life, but they probably don't want him around because you never know what Varys has on you. Like, for all we know, Varys knows about Jon, like, his true nature. I think Littlefinger did. Like, Littlefinger definitely hinted that he knew more about Jon Snow than everybody else. Varys could know that very easily. So, do you want somebody that just finds things out crazy amounts? Probably not. Bran. So, Bran, there's so many theories about Bran. You know, is Bran the Night King, but in a weird time dimension loop thing? I honestly think that could be something to do with it, because again, the Night King seems to be linked with Bran and Jon the most. Arguably Bran, because whenever Bran does his walking thing, the Night King just looks at him, and then it affected Bran a little bit. Again, the theory that I've heard that sounds the most plausible is Bran, in the next few episodes, goes, I'm going to go back in time to go find where the Night King was made, and I'm going to stop it, because I can affect the past, because we know he can, because we've seen what he did to Hodor. We also saw what he did, you know, when he went to the tower where Jon was born. Younger Ned was looking and going, well, who's there? So, like, he can interact with that world. There's a theory that he goes back to stop the Night King, and he gets stuck. Because it also has been made into the show that someone told Bran, if you warg for too long, you get stuck. So what happens if Bran wargs into that White Walker that he thinks becomes the Night King, but it's just a random, you know, children of the forest make this White Walker to protect them. He's like, that's the Night King. It looks like him. He wargs into it, gets stuck. Then you have basically Bran messed up in the head with all these powers that, you know, is quite powerful, shows telepathy and everything like that. And he gets stuck. And then it's like a loop. This type of thing is going to happen again, and it's him coming from the future type thing. It's a cool theory. I don't know if they'll do it. Because, again, another thing is who built the wall? A guy called Bran the Builder who was a Stark. If that isn't screaming you in the face, I don't know what else is. But, you know, they could do anything they want. But I think Bran... I think he'll live, but, like, I don't know if by definition it's like live is what we think. I very well could be like, Bran goes, I'm leaving this type of body and I'm going to do something. He could, like, just float away, but still technically be alive and just walk to different things permanently. But I think he'll stay alive. Sansa, I think, you know, I find the character quite annoying myself, but I think she's going to live. I want to speed this up a little bit, but I think she's going to live because I think she's the only one that I see becoming Warden of the North. Jon isn't interested. I really don't think he's interested in staying Warden of the North. Because I kind of think Jon wants to die. Arya doesn't, I don't think, want to be Warden of the North. So she's the only one. So that's by my reasoning why she'll live. Cersei, please die. She has to, right? Like, part of me wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't, because it would be kind of like the show going, you know, not happy endings, the bad guy has lived. But she's done so much. So many people hate her. And the character we're about to talk next, I think, will be the person that, you know, whatever the future telling was, you know, a brother will kill you. They didn't technically say a brother with a real brother. What happens if Arya disguises herself as a brother? So here's my theory of how Cersei dies. Tyrion dies for some reason, or maybe Arya doesn't kill Tyrion, but I reckon he's going to die somehow. Arya takes his face, goes down to King's Landing. Sister, I need to talk to you. She kills Cersei disguised as Tyrion. That's my theory, because it makes sense. It's within the kind of future telling. A brother will kill you. Technically, it's a brother. She's disguised as a brother. And I also think Tyrion's going to die somehow. How? I don't really know. I just don't see the character living. Why? Honestly, it's because of like information that's not in the show. Tyrion is George RR's favorite character. He's said this in interviews before. I, for some reason, don't think that George R.R. Martin will make his favorite character live at the end. I don't know my reasoning with that. I just don't think so. He's a character, like, he'll either be like the leader in the end, or he'll be dead in episode 1. Like, it's that type of way for me. Like, yeah. So I love the character. It's honestly one of my favorite, if not my favorite character of the show. I just do not see him surviving for whatever reason. This is a hard one. Jon and Daenerys. I don't think both of them will survive, because I think it'll be too happy if both of them survive. The problem is which one's going to die. Arguably, Jon wants to die in a weird way, because he's even said, why did you guys bring me back? There's more, obviously, to Jon than what he knows and what we're going to find out, because, again, the Lord of Light only brings back characters that are important to the story. So he was brought back for a big reason. And to be honest, that reason has not been discovered yet. You know, yes, he's a Targaryen. Obviously, his name, I think, is Aegon Targaryen. We're going to find out. I reckon, I hope they get that out of the way quick. Sam is returning to Winterfell. He spoke to Bran. Oh my God, we need to tell him. Jon arrives back at Winterfell, episode 1. Jon, we need to tell you something. And I think there's that in the scene of the trailer, there's a fireplace scene that Jon's walking past Daenerys. She gives him the cold shoulder, doesn't even look at him. I think that is them two going, okay, we need to talk about this, and it's really awkward. But again, the Targaryens kind of got that thing going on anyway, so I don't even know if it's going to affect that much. Because Jon, I don't think, will adopt his name. I don't think he'll kind of go, no, I'm now Aegon Targaryen. No, he's Jon Snow. I think he'll go, no, I'm Jon Snow. That is who I am. I've never known myself as a Targaryen. I am Jon Snow. But the question is, who dies? Because again, there was that, again, a lot of prophecies. She can't have kids. She's 100% going to have a kid with Jon. We know that much. Like, that's just obvious. Does she die and the kid lives? Because again, there is this thing that has not been in the show at all, apparently, that there's this other, again, a lot of future telling and like all these kind of things, that there's this prince something, the Prince of Light, you know? And it was like, oh, it was that person, and then that person, like the Melisandre character keeps going, oh, that the prince to be promised. The story's called, technically not Game of Thrones, it's called A Song of Ice and Fire. Jon is ice, Daenerys is fire. The Song of Ice and Fire could very well be their baby, who is the prince to be promised. They're both royalty, technically. Jon is technically the rightful heir to the throne before all the craziness happened. So they're both royalty. Their kid, no matter how weird, will be a prince of some sort. Ice, fire, prince. Their kid's going to be the prince to be promised, right? But I don't see both of them living. Like, how much of a... what's the right word? The way to describe it. Jon died. Jon's mother died giving birth to him. What happens if Daenerys dies giving birth to their son? Because it would be kind of like a loop. So, on that theory, boop, I'm leaving Jon Snow to stay alive, but I reckon he'll have a kid at the end, which will be their son, who will eventually be the prince that was promised. And I reckon that's how also Melisandre will somehow die. Like, she'll go, I'll give birth to this child, I'll help out. And then Jon's like, well, you're dead. But she's like, I have to do it, even if it means I'm going to die. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, that's going to be it. Again, feel free to join my league. I'll have it linked down below, and it'll be interesting to see what you guys think. Again, there are also... some down here. So, What's this? So the 1 point each will quickly go. Which character will die during, or will die first during? Who's gonna die first out of all these? Interesting. Again, Tormund technically is closest to the Night King. But I don't think he's going to die. I reckon he'll manage to get back to Winterfell and warn people. I reckon... Who will die first? God, this is hard. To me, I think they're going to lead with a relatively important character. It, again, you very well easily could be a betrayal of some sort. I'm going to go Grey Worm, because, like, I don't know, will they kill anybody in episode 1? We know the Battle of Winterfell is happening in episode 3, and that's where I think Grey Worm is dying. I don't know what the first 2 episodes are going to be. Like, the 2 first episodes could be, like, Theon Greyjoy going to go rescue Yara, and one of those characters could die. Actually, that's what I'm going to do instead. I reckon Yara's going to... I reckon these 2 are both going to die, as I said, but I reckon Yara's going to die first. There we go. Who's the final death? Daenerys. I reckon the series is going to end with her giving birth. And who wins the Iron Throne? Did I have... I have to remind myself. Yeah. Alright. Jaime Lannister. There you go. That is my guesses. Because, again, I think Jaime's going to end up on it, even if he doesn't want to. Boom. There you go. Alright. That'll be the link. I'll put it down below. But again, feel free to join in. And the entries lock on the 14th, the day of the series. Obviously, you can't enter when the series has already started. But I'll see you guys next time. See ya.